Welcome to the United States Sports Academy's 33rd Annual Awards of Sports program. Every year since 1984, the Academy has honored hundreds of men and women around the world for their contributions to both sport and art. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Thomas J. Rosandich, the President and CEO of the Academy, who, by the way, was also our 1998 Alumnus of the Year. Dr. Rosandich.
Thank you very much, Dr. Butler. On behalf of the United States Sports Academy, I would like to extend to all of you a very warm welcome, especially our honorees, our trustees, faculty and staff, students, and of course our guests from the local community. As you know, as Dr. Butler had just mentioned, every year the Academy hosts a program called the Academy's Awards of Sport, which is a tribute to the artist and the athlete. I would like to note that in the Academy's mission statement is instruction, research, and service. And in fact, the programs that we do for the American Sport Art Museum and Archive that we call ASAMA is the embodiment of that service part of our mission statement. The Academy has, as you see, this museum dedicated to capturing the human spirit and motion of sport. We have in the collection on the order of about 1,700 pieces, and I'm not going to get into whatever the value of it is, but it's substantial. This is really the brainchild of the founder of the Academy that started in 1984, and the important thing, I think, is as a service activity, ASAMA is open, free of charge to the public weekly, every workday, so that anyone can come in and take it in and enjoy the surroundings as you do. The other part of the Academy, I think, that's so very important is its commitment to excellence. Whether that is in servicing our students that are scattered all around the world, or in recognizing contributions to the profession of art, as is the case with our honorees here this evening, which you're going to hear more about as the program progresses. And so without any further ado, what I would like to do is invite you to sit back, relax, take in the show, and Dr. Butler, the floor is yours.
The theme, the Artist and the Athlete Celebration, honors the tradition of Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the modern Olympics, who believed that the beauty of sport and art were forever linked. In keeping with the spirit, the Academy and its American Sports Art Museum and Archives, as Dr. Rosandich said, ASAMA, reflect the same belief. For those of you who know me, I'm a sports junkie. I can give you the start. I can go 1 through 99 and give you every uniform number of the 1973 Miami Dolphins undefeated team. I can tell you the starting lineup for the 1969 Baltimore Orioles in Game 1 of the World Series. But when I got here 5 years ago, I'm going to tell you how much I knew about art. This is coming from a sports guy who's thinking, why in the world is sport and art connected? Kim Nicholson, who was working in the bookstore at that time, I went down there to get a shirt so I could wear it on Friday, and she had 2 pictures sitting on the table. And she says, which one do you like the best? I said, instantly said, oh, I like that one a lot better. We turned them over. The one I liked was $9. The other one was $4,000. So that gives you a little bit of background on my art experience when I showed up here. But in the last 5 years, I've learned a lot about how well sport and art really do together. Here's a trivia question for you. Who was the first American to win a gold medal in the 2012 London Olympics? Matt knows. The answer is Marty Linson, a sculptor. The first American, he was our sports artist of the year the next year, and he was actually the first American to win a gold medal in London. So that's just one example of how intrinsically linked art and sport really are. Over the years, some of the icons of sport have been honored. Just since the year 2000, the list includes Usain Bolt, Barry Bonds, Novak Djokovic, Brett Favre, Roger Federer, Michael Phelps, Maria Sharapova, Annika Sorenstam, Serena Williams, and Tiger Woods. That group together has won 82 Grand Slam titles in tennis and golf, 35 Olympic gold medals, and 10 Most Valuable Player awards. And we also have awarded coaches every year. Some names, Gino Auriemma, Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, Tony Dungy, Phil Jackson, and I think this says Nick Saban. I'm an Auburn guy, so it's hard for me to say good things about Coach Saban. But these coaches have won 40 championships, both national championships and world championships for the pros. But just as important as these great athletes and coaches are, the contributions of the wonderful people that many of us have never heard of, and that's what some of the things you'll see tonight with the Medallion Series awards. People like Oksana Masters, who lost both of her legs to the Chernobyl accident and became a world champion skier. You can see her story in your program. Dr. Steve Devick, the founder of the King Devick concussion program, which has been a major force behind the concussion awareness program around the country. Those are just two examples of people who most of us have never heard of, who contribute almost just as much to sports as the athletes do, and probably sometimes even more. In many ways, the recipients of our Medallion Awards have contributed as much to the world of sports as the amazing athletes. Before we get started this evening, the Academy would like to welcome our distinguished guest. You've already met Dr. Thomas J. Rosandich, the President and CEO of the Sports Academy. Also with us is Dr. Thomas P. Rosandich, the founding President and President Emeritus of the Sports Academy. Dr. Kenneth Cameron, our 2017 Ernest Jokel Sports Medicine Award winner. Mr. Fairfax Hackley, the 2017 Dwight D. Eisenhower Fitness Award winner. Dr. Dave Schrock, the Academy's 2017 Alumnus of the Year. And our artist, Mr. Richard Watkins, our Sport Artist of the Year sculptor, and his wife Sharon, and Mr. Bill Williams, our 2017 Sports Artist of the Year painter, and his wife Kathy. We also have several members of our Board of Trustees here, Dr. Don Wukash, Mr. Jack Shar, Dr. Nick Nicolai, Ms. Susan McCullough, and Dr. Gary Cunningham. We also have 3 members of our art committee here, Ms. Nancy Raya, Ms. Kay Dodrell, and Ms. B. Beth Weldon. And all these people are instrumental in the continued success of the Academy, especially the Board of Trustees and the Art Board. The Board of Trustees and the Art Board work together to keep that concept of sport and art working together towards the greatness of the Academy. And finally, the best faculty and staff in the world of sports education. We really do have a wonderful faculty and staff here, and they make it fun to come to work every day. I've worked at Auburn University, Columbus State University, and Troy University, and I can tell you unequivocally that today is the best group of people I've ever worked with in higher education. Finally, since Saturday is Veterans Day, and celebrated some places tomorrow, some places have tomorrow off for Veterans Day, and the Academy has a long history of being a military-friendly school. Ever since that designation has been around, we've been a member of the military-friendly group. In fact, last year we were designated as a top 10 military-friendly school in the country. So with that tradition, I would like everyone who has served in the armed forces at any time to please stand and be recognized. Thank you so much for your service. The first award this evening is the Dr. Ernest Jokel Sports Medicine Award. This year's winner is Dr. Kenneth Cameron, who will be presented the Jokel Award by trustee Dr. Don Wukash. Drs. Cameron and Wukash, please come forward. The Jokel Award is given annually to an individual for his or her contributions to the growth and development of sports medicine through practice and scholarly activity. This year's winner, Dr. Kenneth Cameron, is the Director of Orthopedic Research at the Keller Army Community Hospital at West Point. Dr. Cameron's work in the areas of injury prevention, musculoskeletal injury, and disease epidemiology, and the outcomes associated with the treatment of these injuries, specifically in the physically active and military populations, has resulted in numerous awards. The National Athletic Trainers Association recently awarded him with its Most Distinguished Athletic Trainer Award. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the United States Sports Academy's 2017 Dr. Ernest Jokel Sports Medicine Award, Dr. Kenneth Cameron. Dr. Cameron, would you like to make a few words?
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, a very unexpected honor. I received the envelope in the mail, and I opened it, and at first I thought there was a mistake, and then I read the award description, and I looked at the previous winners, and then I really thought it was a mistake. To be on a list with people like James Andrews, Dr. Jobe, who is known for his UCL reconstruction, several other legends in sports medicine. It was a very humbling honor and something that I appreciate very much. Obviously, you don't have success like I've experienced without the people you work with. Much of it is attributable to those people. I work with a great team of orthopedic surgeons, physical therapists, athletic trainers, military service members. Basically all the work that we do, we couldn't do without all of them being on board. So success oftentimes is not something that comes from you as an individual. It's what comes from your team and the people that you work with. And those people really probably deserve more of the recognition than I do. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and the honor. And again, I think very humbling. And I give the credit to the people that I work with. So thank you very much.
Our next award this evening is the Dwight D. Eisenhower Fitness Award. This year's winner is Mr. Fairfax Hackley, who will be presented the Eisenhower Award by trustee Dr. Gary Cunningham. Mr. Hackley and Dr. Cunningham, please come forward. The Eisenhower Award is given annually to a person who has shown outstanding individual or cumulative achievement in fitness and has contributed to the growth and development of sports fitness through outstanding leadership activity. This year's winner, Mr. Fairfax Hackley, was a multi-sport athlete throughout his youth and college who went on to compete in bodybuilding. He won 12 class titles in the sport and later served as a judge and director of the Mr. America contest. In more than 20 years in the sport, he has won silver and gold medals for excellence in administration. He has worked closely with the Arnold Sports Festival as a director of arm wrestling and as a member of the International Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the United States Sports Academy's Dwight D. Eisenhower Fitness Award, Fairfax Hackley. Mr. Hackley.
In the words of someone that I'm very, very close to, this is the nicest award that I've gotten so far today. And I really enjoy speaking like this because it's a special occasion and I don't always get an opportunity to come to a place named Daphne. Had you been named Maria, it would have been a whole different story. I like to say how truly humbled I am to be here today. How many of you knew me before I was given such an illustrious introduction? Okay, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Fairfax Hackley. I signed my name Fairfax Hackley 212. Does anyone know what that means? That's the temperature at which water boils. I'm on fire. So if you were wondering how excited I am to be here today, I just let you know. You know, it took me exactly 24 years to get here. It was a long journey. And that journey began when I met Dr. Tom backstage at the Mr. Olympia, 1993. And I was so humbled by the experience because I was introduced by Dr. Ben Weeder, who was also honored by this wonderful academy. And at that point, I wanted to get a PhD from this wonderful school. And Ben offered to pay for my tuition. Of course, you know, I was so happy about that, but life got in the way, and I got married. Not that that was a bad thing at the time. And later on, I had a son, but we had fertility problems, and I bought a house. And then in 2000, my dad came to visit me, and for my birthday, which he always would do every year. And a day later, he was bleeding from the rectum and lying on a hospital gurney. He laid there for 6 weeks. I became his advocate. Exactly 2 hours after I learned that my dad had cancer, my ex-wife asked for a divorce. It's probably one of the toughest things that I've ever had to endure in my life. Of course, you know, when you get a divorce, you divide up all the assets, and what I wanted to put towards earning this PhD was definitely put on the back burner. And then you have child support, you have legal fees. And then another strange thing happened. I raised the money, and then I had to take in my grandmother. and she was 94 at the time. And she was able to take care of herself, thank God, and she got around. And but then the medical bills began to pile up, and I had to sell my place, and I had to liquidate a lot of other things, and so didn't have the money again. But you know, there's an old expression: God gives you what you need, not what you want. And I wanted that PhD, but I ended up with something just as good. I got a DDE, the Dwight David Eisenhower Award. So it did take me 24 years to get here. But remember, if you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know that he had help getting there. Someone helped him get there. And I had some people, Dr. Bob Goldman, Dr. T, and I had a very special moment this year, which the Rosandich family got to enjoy. You know, when you endure like I've endured, and when you go through, it comes a time in your life where you reach back and you say thank you for the people who inspired you. And many of you know Dr. Goldman, and he is the president and CEO of the International Sports Hall of Fame. He pays for that out of his own pocket. And I'm literally his right-hand man. He pays for the bills, and I'm the guy who does all the vetting and brings in the people. So he called me up one night, and he said, I'd like to induct a very special person. I said, who is that? And he said, Dr. T. And I said, well, you can't do that. There was silence on the end of the phone. And finally, he came to his senses. He said, why not? I said, because you're the president and CEO. You can't do that. That's conflict of interest, but I can do it. And believe you me, I waited 24 years for that moment to be able to do that. And that was so, so special. Tears were rolling down my eyes because I said to Dr. Bob over the phone, I said, I, Fairfax Hackley, I'd like to induct Dr. Tom for what he's done for me. Class of 2017, excuse me, into the International Sports Hall of Fame. Do I get a second? You get a second. If you were on the other end of that phone, I'd like to hear you all say, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And you know, I have a background in martial arts and bodybuilding, so there was not going to be one person who was going to deny him that opportunity. So like the turtle, by the inch it's a cinch, by the yard it's hard, by the mile take a while. And I'm here finally. And I said, this is probably, without a doubt, you know, one of the most special things that ever happened to me in my life. And it's special because it was just like your experience. When I got the envelope in the mail, I thought it was the order of the hoodie that I had put in. And I got in a hoodie earlier, and due to a laundry accident, it got bleached out. My red hoodie now looked like peppermint or a bad Santa Claus outfit. So I crawled up Christy. Everybody knows Christy. And I said, Christy, I need a new hoodie. And she said, what did you do with the one that you had? And I said, you don't want to know. Everybody's been telling me to lighten up, but I did such a good job, I messed up my sweatshirt. So she said, well, we're going to send you a new hoodie, but beware that a package is going to come in the mail for you in a couple of days. So I want you to call us and get that package. So I'm thinking everyone, you know, they were going to throw in a free hat. You know, there's a reason why I shaved my head, so all of you can see what I'm thinking. So when the envelope did finally arrive, I didn't open it right away because I said, this is not a package, this is an envelope. Finally, I pulled to the side of the road and I opened up the envelope and began to read it. And I couldn't get past the first paragraph. So what do you do when you're from Washington? The first thing you do is call your attorney. And she thought something was wrong. And she said, "What's the matter?" And I started to read words, and of course I couldn't get the words out. And she said, "You're kidding me." I said, "No." She said, "No way." I said, "Yes way." She said, "Uh-uh." I said, "Uh-huh." She said, "No, they didn't." I said, "Yes, they did." And then I proceeded to take off. And all I could think about at that moment was my dad, who passed away. And he passed away 13 years ago in October. My grandmother passed away 5 years ago in October. And in October, it was 10 years ago that I last saw my son. So I realized that I didn't have anyone who I could really share this moment with, but that's not true, because I see a room full of people with a lot of eyes on me right now that have made this moment very special for me, and especially for the fact that I got to honor Dr. T. So again, there's one other person I'd like to honor in light of the fact that I won this award, the Dwight David Eisenhower for Fitness. I was born in 1953, the year he was president. You know, he helped desegregate the military. I'm a former Marine. It's Veterans Day this weekend. So I'm thinking about a person who had the biggest impact in my early life. Was my first grade teacher, who taught me the meaning of the Star-Spangled Banner and the Pledge of Allegiance. I grew up in Harlem, folks. But I never forgot the very first lesson Mr. Belay taught us was how to stand and take our right hand and cover our heart. And you couldn't close your eyes. You couldn't look away from the flag. Your hands were to your side. Your feet were together. You didn't look around the room. We didn't kneel. We didn't bow our heads. We didn't sit down. And the first day was spent learning the Pledge of Allegiance, which says, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands." Again, didn't say kneel, didn't say sit. And so I knew from that point forward, my next lesson was to learn the Star-Spangled Banner. And any athlete will tell you that if they play that for you, when you win a championship or in a game or at the Olympics, there's only one way that you should stand, and that's as straight as you can. I will never, ever, ever disrespect the flag of the United States, because, as a matter of fact, I'm always wearing one somewhere on my body. And if I go into a room where there isn't one, and I have my flag with me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And again, it's a great honor to not only be here and be able to tell you that not only am I the winner of the Dwight David Eisenhower Award, but today I've become a visiting professor to tell you how important it is to keep our country right, to keep our country strong, and to let you know and remind you of what we stand for, what this school stands for, what I stand for, what you stand for. So again, if you have any problems with the initials USSA, it really means, besides United States Sports Academy, you something special. Thank you very much. God bless, and God bless America.
Thank you very much. Our next honoree is Dr. Dave Schrock. Dr. Schrock will be presented with the Academy's Alumnus of the Year Award by 1998 Alumnus of the Year and our President and CEO, Dr. Thomas J. Rosandich. Dr. Schrock and Dr. Rosandich, please come forward. The Alumnus of the Year Award is given each year to the most outstanding Academy alumnus. The awardee must represent the ideals of sport and of the Academy. Academy alumnus and National Faculty member Dr. Dave Schrock earned a Doctor of Education degree in Sports Management from the Academy in 2009. Dr. Schrock has taught sports marketing and sports leadership for the Academy in Thailand, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates. A resident of Modesto, California, he serves numerous United States of America track and field leadership roles, including president of the nation's largest association, the Pacific Association, USATF Coaching Committee Chair, vice chair of the USATF National Association's Executive Committee, and recently chair of the National Associations Committee at the 2017 annual meeting in Orlando, Florida. During that meeting, Dr. Schrock was awarded the McGill Legacy Coaching Award in recognition of his passion and leadership nationally for the promotion of USATF coaching education. Dr. Schrock has more than 40 years of coaching experience in track and field, including 20 years as a college coach. His association work includes oversight of several committees and chair of the National Associations Committee at the 2017 annual meeting in Orlando, Florida. I already read that. Dr. Schrock, his oversight includes several national championships and the United States Olympic trials. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2017 United States Sports Academy's Alumnus of the Year, Dr. Dave Schrock.
I just wanted to say one thing, that Dr. Schrock went to the United Arab Emirates this past September, where he taught the Introduction to Marketing class in the Football Association Academy of the UAE. And I happened to follow in his footsteps about a few weeks later, this past, middle of October. So I'm meeting with the officials of the Football Association Academy, and they went on to tell me what a marvelous job you did, and that they want to have you back, so keep your bags packed. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the United States Sports Academy for acknowledging this award, and I too, when I received the letter and saw all the people who have received the award before, I was truly humbled. So thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Dr. Thomas Rosandich for creating this institution, and with his vision, creating one of the nation's, if not foremost, best sports universities. Dr. T.J. Rosandich for continuing the legacy, for all the faculty and staff, many of who I know who do a great job as well. Thank you very much. And I'd like to accept this award on behalf of the alumni, those that have come before me and those that will follow me, because we're the ones who utilize the knowledge, the experience, the passion which we've gained from this great institution to continue to work for the betterment of sport. Thank you very much, everyone.
Our next two presentations are the Jingliang Ha Cultural Awards for the Sports Artist of the Year. I had to call Wan Yi today and have her tell me how to pronounce that wonderful man's name. And she says, I told you how to do it last year. And I said, well, I forgot. These awards bear the name of the long-serving chairman of the International Olympic Committee's Commission for Culture and Olympic Education. The Sport Artist of the Year award is presented to an individual or individuals who capture the spirit and life of sport so that future generations can relive the drama of today's competition. Recipients may use a variety of art media, including film, video, or sculpture, to depict the breadth and scope of both the agony and ecstasy of sport. Our next award is Sport Artist of the Year Sculptor. This award will be presented to Mr. Richard Watkins by trustee Mr. Jack Shar. Mr. Watkins and Mr. Shar, please come forward. Mr. Richard Watkins is a sculptor based in Atlanta, Georgia. His work depicts athletes, people, and animals. He designed school at the university. He went to design school at the University of Cincinnati and spent 25 years working in the toy industry, where he designed and developed toys for several large toy companies. He began to work professionally as a sculptor after his retirement from the toy business. His award-winning work is known for capturing the energy, dynamics, and balance of amazing athletes at that single moment of intense action, the slam dunk, the long pass, or the double play. He exaggerates the physical proportions to an extreme, giving them incredible action and an engaging quality. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2017 United States Sports Academy Sports Art of the Year Sculptor, Mr. Richard Watkins.
just like to thank the U.S. Sports Academy, its board of directors, and the art committee for this award. I'd also like to thank Bruce Larson, your 2009 Sports Sculptor of the Year, who nominated me. And I have to thank my wife, Kathy, for all her support and all her patience. You know, I'd have been thrilled just to come here as a visitor to see this amazing collection of sports. It's a wonderful place to combine the two things I love most, sports and art. But to have my work join this wonderful collection and to receive this honor is the highlight of my career. Thank you.
Mr. Watkins, if you could step over to the display to my right, I would like to ask Dr. Thomas P. Rosandich, President Emeritus Academy, and Mr. Shar to assist in unveiling of your work titled Slam Dunk. This work will become a permanent part of the Asama collection. Our next award recipient is the 2016 Sports Artist of the Year painter. This award will be presented to Mr. Bill Williams by Academy trustee Ms. Susan McCullough. Mr. Williams and Ms. McCullough, please come forward. Mr. Bill Williams is a nationally known American sports artist respected for his classical artistic approach to representing the glory of sports through his realistic still-life oil paintings. His work is in the permanent collections of the Baseball Hall of Fame, the College Football Hall of Fame, the Commissioner of the NBA, the New York Yankees, the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, the U.S. Naval Academy, and the Butler Institute of American Art. No relation. He has won numerous awards, including the Lake Orion Art Center Award and the Best of Show in the Art of Golf Festival at Pinehurst, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2017 United States Sports Academy Sport Arts of the Year painter, Mr. Bill Williams.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Academy here and especially the Art Committee for deciding that my work was deserving of having this award. I want to thank the staff here. They've been very kind to me and my wife as we traveled down from Michigan, and they kind of held our hand through this whole thing so it would all come off smoothly. I've always seen a correlation between art and sports, especially since I was an athlete in high school and college. And then when that venue kind of ran out for me because I got a little old and I couldn't compete like I used to, I turned my interest in art towards sport. It was recommended by an artist in Cleveland, Ohio, that I should paint things that I'm really familiar with or that I know well. And the first thing that came to my mind was sports. My first painting I did was I took my son's catcher's mitt, 3 baseballs, did an oil painting, entered it in a statewide show, and won Best of Show. And I thought, well, maybe he's got something here. I was fortunate to grow up in a household where my parents loved each other and they loved me. They encouraged me throughout my life. They're both gone now, but they were a big part of my success. My father was an accomplished musician and kind of a Renaissance man. My mother made things with her hands, and she was great at encouraging and complimenting me whatever I tried to do in life. I was fortunate to go to a school system that had the advantage of having 2 cereal companies, Kellogg's and Post, competing to see who could give the most money to our school system. So we had the best football stadium in the state. We had a field house. We had a camp. We had a farm. We had everything a person could need to gain success. And 4 years around when I was in high school, we lost 1 football game. We won a state championship. We won state championships in track and field, swimming, wrestling. Our debate team was state champions. We had an a cappella choir that went to Europe and won a competition for adult choirs. So I was around a lot of people who were successful. I saw what it took to become successful. And it just kind of rubbed off on me, and I figured, I'm going to be pretty confident here, and I'm going to try to make a success on whatever I do. I went to college. I played on an undefeated football team. I played basketball. I threw discus on the track team. When I went in the military, I had this interest in art, and I saw all the best art museums in Europe. My wife and I traveled, and it kind of got in my head that maybe I could do this too. So when I got out of the military, I met an art professor at Western Michigan University who suggested the best way to learn how to paint is to paint still lifes. Well, I've never stopped doing that. I paint portraiture too, but still life is a way to learn how to use light, shadow, cast shadow, reflected light, negative space, color. The subjects are very cooperative. They can sit there for hours and hours. So I learned a lot about painting there. I worked for the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I was put in charge of art exhibits for disabled veterans around the country. We had exhibits in Washington, D.C., St. Louis, Missouri, Ohio, Richmond, Virginia, and I was inspired by a lot of these people with disabilities who did excellent artwork. So as time went on, I remembered back of a friend of the family who drew a pencil portrait of my brother. And he presented it to my grandparents. And I thought, this was 10th grade, and I thought, I wonder if I could do that. This guy is just a music teacher. He doesn't have any formal art training. Maybe this is something I could do too. So I spent the rest of my high school years drawing portraits. And then when I went to college, I found that guys in my dorm liked my portraits. And they had little pictures in their wallets of their girlfriends back home. And they said, can you do a portrait for me? I said, yes, for $5 I'll do a portrait for you. But that gave me money to put in the payphone to call my girlfriend back home. And my girlfriend and I are going to celebrate 45 years of marriage next month. She's always been there for me. She's given suggestions. She's been a model. She's framed. She's sent out mailings. She's given great suggestions on how to proceed with my art career. And really, with all these other people involved, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here thanking you for coming to this event. Thank you very much.
Mr. Williams, Dr. Rosandich, and Ms. McCullough will assist you in unveiling of your work titled Satchel's Monarchs. This will become a permanent part of the collection of Osama.
Doctor, if I can, why don't we have his wife of 45 years replace me in the unveiling?
Okay.
She's not tall enough.
Fantastic.
I might not have known much about art 5 years ago, but I can tell you the work that both of these gentlemen have in the room here, you see over here with the door open as a temporary exhibit, is really, really cool. Especially if you like baseball. Dr. Simmermacher, I know you'll love what's in that room. Ladies and gentlemen, you can refer to your programs for the rest of the Academy's 2017 Awards of Sport recipients. These awards were presented to the honorees by representatives of the Academy literally around the world. As you probably have observed here tonight, winners in the Academy Awards of Sports program truly represent the leaders of both sports and art around the world. Invariably, when we reach out to the winners, they are genuinely appreciative of the Academy's efforts to recognize their accomplishments in both sport and art. At the same time, as you might expect, the real leaders of the world in sports and art are really, really busy people, and many of them don't have the opportunity to come join us at our ceremony each year. In these cases, members of the Academy's Board of Trustees, boards of visitors, and others associated with the Academy perform an invaluable service by presenting the awards to the honorees at a time and location that works for the winner. The Academy is especially appreciative of those who assist with this important process. Many of them are sitting in this front row. I know I've seen pictures of Dr. Cunningham and Dr. Wukosh presenting awards, so we greatly appreciate that. Tonight we're going to end our program with a special treat. We have put together a video to recognize those honorees who could not be with us tonight. The video ends with a song called Heart of a Champion, which was first played at one of our Awards of Sports programs more than 30 years ago and has become the Academy's theme song. Before we play the video, we want to thank everyone who joined us tonight. After the video is completed, we would like to have the members of the Board of Trustees, the Art Committee, and each of our honorees stay here for some photographs. And at the conclusion of the video, everyone is invited to join us downstairs in the main lobby for refreshments.
C. Vivian Stringer Coaching Award, Ms. Patty Gasso, Head Softball Coach, University of Oklahoma.
Good evening. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person to accept this award, but I'm very thankful to the United States Sports Academy for bestowing this honor upon me. To win an award named in honor of such a legendary and pioneering coach like Vivian Stringer, and to join other prominent recipients such as Don Staley, Muffet McGraw, and Sue Enquist in accepting this honor, it's extremely humbling. In my 24 years as a head coach here at Oklahoma, I'd like to think that I've made a positive impact, not just on the wonderful school that I call home, but also on the sport of softball as a whole. I've dedicated my life to not only developing student athletes on the field, but enriching their lives off the field as well. Our goal is that if someone enters this program as a girl, she leaves as a woman. Our student athletes do not expect that anything will be given to them. They come to every practice and every game with a blue-collar mentality, and they put in the work to earn everything they have. In this way, I'm trying to prepare them for not just the rigors of collegiate athletics, but for life once they hang up their cleats. The sport of softball has given me so much, and I try to give that back to the community as much as I can. And winning championships is great, and I take great pride in the successes that we've had, but that's not our main goal here at Oklahoma. It's the use of the sport we love to enrich the lives of others. I thank you once again for this incredible honor, and I also commend the United States Sports Academy for all the work that you do in helping to better the lives of others through sports. Thank you.
Amos Alonzo Stagg Coaching Award, Mr. Mike Holloway, Head Track and Field Coach, University of Florida.
Coach Holloway is a really passionate person. He really believes in his athletes.
Coach Holloway has those expectations for everyone on the team. And I think that if you're willing to put the work in, doesn't matter what event you're in, you can be one of the best in the world here.
Seeing what Coach Holloway and with the girls team and the men's team just win titles after I left, just goes to show that progression of what he believed in, his goals, his being strife and pushing his athletes. It shows that we strive for excellence here at University of Florida.
Coach Holloway has always been, a great coach. He motivates me. He knows how to get me ready. He knows how to get in my head.
When Mouse recruited me, he said that he wasn't going to only help me grow as an athlete, but also as a man, as a gentleman.
Coach Holloway has definitely been like a father figure to me because I didn't have my dad growing up, and when he came to my house, he told my mom, like, I'm going to take care of her, and he did exactly what he said.
If he goes after you, you're somebody special, like, and he really sees the potential that you have. And so I feel like Coach Holloway, just with his passionate characteristics and just his drive, really makes him a very influential person and why his athletes are so successful.
Just having him as a mentor, having him as a coach, and most importantly, having him as a friend, I think was central to my success throughout my college career.
Coach Holloway is an amazing coach, and honestly, I don't know where I would be without him. For the most part, he has been the person that inspired me to keep trying and has pushed me to levels that we can't even imagine.
Hello, my name is Mike Holloway, head track and field and cross country coach at the University of Florida. I'd like to begin by thanking God for being the head of my life. I'd like to thank the United States Sports Academy for presenting me with the Amos Alonzo Stagg Coaching Award and for believing that I am worthy of this incredible honor. When I look at the list of former recipients and when one considers the legacy of Coach Stagg, it is truly a blessing to be in such great company. I'd like to thank my family, my assistant coaches, and all of my support staff here at UF, for without their support, none of this would be possible. Finally, I would like to say again, thank you to the United States Sports Academy for presenting me with this prestigious award. God bless.
International Honorary Doctorate, His Excellency Ali bin Bongo Ondimba, President, Republic of Gabon. National Honorary Doctorate, Mr. Sunil Gulati, President, U.S. Soccer Federation. Eagle Award, Dr. Renee Fazal, President, International Ice Hockey Federation. Carl Maddox Sports Management Award, Mr. Don Garber, Commissioner, Major League Soccer. Jackie Robinson Humanitarian Award, Mr. Justin James, J.J. Watt, NFL player and leader of Hurricane Harvey relief. Jim Thorpe All-Around Athlete Award, Miss Nafisatu Tiam, World Champion Heptathlete. Juan Antonio Samaranch IOC Disabled Athlete Award, Miss Oksana Masters, Paralympic World Champion. Mildred Babe Diedrichson Zaharias Courage Award, Mr. Anthony Rizzo, Major League Baseball player, cancer survivor, and philanthropist. Ronald Reagan Media Award, Mr. Dave Finocchio, founder and former CEO of the Bleacher Report. Theodore Roosevelt Meritorious Achievement Award, Mr. Jon Runyan, former NFL player, former United States Congressman, and current NFL Administrator.
But the spirit says go.